Welcome back to the channel. Now, I forgot something which I'll share with you in about 30 seconds, but the title and the topic of today's video is all about chase cards and your collection. Now, I said I'd share with you something I'd forgotten in 30 seconds, and I guess 30 seconds is about up. About 5 or 6 videos ago, a very kind member lent out 5 booster bundles of Lost Origin. I've posted him off the hits that come out of the 2 that he had opened, but he had the other 3 booster bundles of Lost Origin opened for a viewer. And I just asked people to comment on that video saying what your favourite booster box is from the last sort of couple of generations, and I've randomly selected a winner of the hits. So I'll post these out to you. This is the winner, Hans or Hans4266. So just shoot me an email at ninjawat1@hotmail.com. That is a shocking email, isn't it? I think I made that when I was like 16. We've all got those shocking hotmails, don't we? But anyway, it's sort of cool, I guess. Anyway, shoot me an email there, mate, and I'll grab your details off you and post them out. And congrats, and thanks again to the member that sent us out those 5 booster bundles. On to today's topic. When it comes to collecting and singles, the whole idea behind this is I was having a conversation with a mate of mine the other night, and what we were talking about is how we want our collection to look. And I'm just going to roll through a couple of different collections up on the screen here, or a couple of different ways to lay out your singles. And I thought to myself, you know what, I've got a grand plan about how I want mine to look. Okay, obviously this is how it looks at the moment, and this is not the end game. Okay, I want it to be bigger and better, like everything in life, don't we? We always want things to be bigger and better. My plan's a pretty simple one. What I want is a set of shelving, like a really long shelving. This is obviously a spare room for me. Like I do the YouTube videos inside here. I keep a heap of singles. I keep a heap of sealed product. The wardrobe's full. Like it's just a spare room for YouTube and Pokemon, basically. I'm very lucky to have it. But I want to set up a long set of shelving and maybe change how the channel's filmed in relation to that once it's all set up. And I would really like an individual box or section of the shelf for each new set of Pokemon cards. So think about this, right? Maybe this was the plan. Say a set like, let's go back to Scarlet and Violet base, right? You see you'd have the booster box and the Elite Trainer boxes. Then you'd have the top 3 hits from the set sitting inside that section, and maybe a bit of LED lighting or maybe a little bit of down lighting to just switch on and switch off to showcase it. Then you'd obviously go to Paldea Evolved and have the Elite Trainer box and the booster box and the top 3 hits from the set. You get what I'm saying? And even go back, you know, to the start of Sword and Shield, or maybe even the start of Sun and Moon with the booster box, the Elite Trainer box, and the top 3 hits from each set. Sort of, you know, maybe I don't need a graded copy. Maybe I'll have a few graded copies, but you know, a mint raw copy would be nice, just sitting on a little plaque there in front of it. That would be the dream. That's how I would love my collection to be set up. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I've got the Elite Trainer boxes and I've got the booster boxes. Just how expensive would it be to get the top 3 chase cards from the last sets? So that's what we're going to work out today. And I think you're going to be surprised with what the final figure will be. So we're going to start off with the newest set, which is of course Paldea Fates, and go all the way back. I'm going to go all the way back to the first Sword and Shield Trainer Gallery set, which was Brilliant Stars. So we're not even going back that far in time. We're only going back in time, what, 2.5 years or thereabouts? So let's see what it adds up to. So starting with Paldea Fates, and keep in mind the singles from Paldea Fates I imagine will go down, okay? It's a very, very new set, and like everything around that 6 to 9 month mark, when more supplies happen, maybe a reprints happen and more supply gets open, singles seem to dip. So they might seem a little bit high at the moment when it comes to Paldea Fates, but I do expect it to drop a bit. So obviously I'm just going to go through the top 3 chase cards, tell you what they are and how much it adds up to when you combine all 3 of them. So Paldea Fates, we've got the Charizard, of course, being the main chase card at $142. Then we have the Mew. That's a really nice artwork, actually. The more I look at it, the more it reminds me of a couple of the Sun and Moon tag team sets. Just that real basic art, but you know, it makes a bit of a statement. So that's $85, and these are all off TCG Player. These are US dollars. I'll convert the whole total to Australian dollars for my Aussie viewers at the end. People say I don't talk about cricket anymore. Well done, Aussies. Another win in the T20. Anyway, number 3, Gardevoir at $53. So if you add up the top 3 chase cards from Paldea Fates, we get to $280 US. And like I was saying, that might seem a little bit high, but that's because that set has just come out. We'll typically see singles take a bit of a dip. over the first sort of 3, 6, pushing 9, even 12 months. What come before Payday and Fates? Of course, Paradox Rift. So the Roaring Moon EX is the top chase card in Paradox Rift. And here's an example, right? Okay, this card was up around $80, $90 only a couple of months ago, and now it's down to $58 US. So that's what I mean. As the set happens, comes out, more supply gets opened, of course, and singles prices, as more hit the market, seem to drop. Iron Valiant EX, the other special illustration rare, $32. Geez, there's not too many chase cards in Paradox Rift, is there? And, oh geez, I don't even know how to pronounce this one. Is it Galdanga, however you pronounce it, $31 US. So the top 3 chase cards of Paradox Rift add up to $121 US. I think I've mentioned, or maybe I haven't mentioned this, maybe I was just talking to someone about this, but one of the things that I think Scarlet and Violet are missing, okay, there's Charizards, right? There's Charizard's and Obsidian Flames. There's 151. There's Payday and Fates. Like, Charizard is the top chase card in 3 out of the 6 sets for Scarlet and Violet. But what I think Scarlet and Violet is missing to make it just a touch stronger, like, I love the artwork. I love how they're introducing a lot of the new Payday and Pokemon. But what it needs is just a few more Gen 2 and Gen 3 and Gen 1 Pokemon thrown throughout the mix. We haven't seen a Rayquaza yet. We haven't seen an Umbreon yet. We haven't seen a Lugia yet. Like, we haven't seen a Typhlosion or a Feraligatr or, you know, something like that. You know, imagine a sick artwork of something like Feraligatr, or the second 3, Meganium, Feraligatr, Typhlosion, some sort of old art for them. Like, inject them into it somehow as chase cards, and I think you would have a stronger set. And also tiering it a little bit harder for your special illustration rares. You know, rather than 1 in 300 packs, maybe 1 in 400 packs, maybe 1 in 1,000 packs, or 1 in 1,500 packs to get that real tiered chase for the special illustration rares. My opinion, that would make Scarlet and Violet a heap better. But anyway, let's keep moving. 151, of course, the top chase card is the Charizard at $117, then the Blastoise at $47, then the Venusaur at $45, giving us a total of $209 US if you wanted to buy the top 3 chase cards from that set. Obsidian Flames. We've gone 4 sets back now, 4th set back from the most recent Obsidian Flames. The Charizard, again, being the most expensive chase card at $49. Another Charizard being the second most expensive chase card at $21. And another Charizard being the 3rd most expensive chase card at $13. It just sort of shows, doesn't it? If you make it too easy to pull and just absolutely flooded with Charizards, it doesn't matter. But the King Charizard can't just hold up a set, can he? Like, $83, that's really poor. The top 3 chase cards equal $83 in Obsidian Flames. I hate to say, like, I told some people sometimes, but I did say this. I said that's going to be another darkness of players. It'll hover around the price that it's hovering at for a long time. Yeah, it might flick up to 120 or 130 US a box. Might even get to 150 US a box in 3 or 4 years' time, but it's not going to make the moves of some of the other sets. I'm guaranteeing you. It's the pull rates are too easy. It's just, other than the Charizards, it's a sort of weak set, isn't it? It's a bit like Darkness Ablaze. Going back in time again, Paldea Evolved. Again, Iono, $77, top chase card. Magikarp, beautiful artwork, $68 US, and another Iono being the 3rd most popular card from the set at $26. So add all these up, and you get $171 to get the top 3 chase cards in Paldea Evolved. Scarlet and Violet base. Arguably, most people would say the weakest Scarlet and Violet set so far when it comes to chase cards, and I think you'll find the price you need to spend to get the top 3 will well and truly reflect that. So Miriam being the top chase, which was out of the block strong and held strong for a while. Like I said, as more supply comes to the market, a reprint happened for Scarlet and Violet base boosters, more got opened, more product on the market, more singles on the market. $27 that Miriam is sitting at the moment, raw. Gardevoir being the 2nd biggest chase at $20, and Miraidon, special illustration rare, at $16. So to get the top 3 chases, you're only needing to spend $63. Crown Zenith, the final Sword and Shield set. So we've obviously retraced back to Sword and Shield era now. The Giratina Gold Star, and these were beautiful as part of the Galarian Gallery. Giratina Gold Star at $76. Arceus Gold Star at $52. And my favourite card from the set, that Mewtwo V-Star with the throwback from where Charizard art was on the top fighting him to now Mewtwo looking down from the bottom. So that card is sitting at $46. So to get the top 3 chase cards of that set, you're going to have to spend 174 US dollars. The last main set, not holiday set, but last main set from Sword and Shield Silver Tempest, you're going to have to spend pretty big dollars to get the big chase card, which is that Lugia V Alt Art at $124, the Rayquaza at $31, and then another Lugia, the V-Star, at $21, equaling $176 to get the top 3 chase cards. What are we up to now? Lost Origin. Now, this is where you're going to have to start spending the money, because out of all these sets in our list, this has the most amount of money you're going to have to spend to get the top 3 chase cards. Mostly taken up, of course, by that beautiful Giratina V Alt Art at $260 US raw, the Aerodactyl coming in second at $86 raw, and then a beautiful trainer gallery from Lost Origin with the Pikachu VMAX at $32, totaling $378 US to get the top 3 chase cards. Going back, what are we up to now? Pokemon Go, which was arguably the worst, definitely the worst holiday set of Sword and Shield. Is it the worst set overall for Sword and Shield? Debatably. But the Mewtwo at $29 is the top chase card, which is the Gold V-Star. Not the Gold, the Rainbow V-Star. Then we have Dragonite Rainbow at $19 and the Mewtwo Alternate Art with the sort of computer graphic look to it at $19, so only needing to spend $67 US to get the top 3 chase cards from Pokemon Go. Astral Radiance. I've said a heap of times, this is a bit of a sleeper set. I know it doesn't have, Charizard or Lugia or an Aerodactyl or an Umbreon or any other evolution or Rayquaza, but I don't know, there's something sort of nice about Astral Radiance. I just have a sneaking suspicion it's going to perform pretty well. And it didn't cop the last reprint when Scarlet and Violet, Lost Origin and Silver Tempest all got a reprint not too long ago, probably going back 6 to 8 months now. Astral Radiance missed it, okay? So we've got the Machamp at $79 as the number 1 chase card, which is beautiful artwork. We've got the Starmie, which people are raving about, and I can only see that card going up in price at $37 US, and the Palkia Alt Art at $31, totaling $147 to get the top 3 chase cards from that set, which seems like relatively decent value if you ask me. And finally, I said we're going all the way back to Brilliant Stars, and then we're going to add them all together and see what the complete total is. So, of course, another Charizard. How many times has Charizard topped the list as the number 1 chase card? Charizard, $118, that beautiful alt art. It is the star of the set. Another Charizard being that V-Star at $60, and then a gold Ultra Ball, which is the 3rd most expensive card from the set, believe it or not, at $25 US, totaling $203 US to get into the top 3 chase cards from Brilliant Stars. Now, there's a lot of commentary going around like, is Brilliant Stars overrated? Well, yeah, possibly. I like that Charizard. That Charizard Alt Art is a beautiful card, and I actually really like the trainer gallery. I really like the OG 3 original evolutions inside the trainer gallery. Is it as strong as Lost Origins trainer gallery? Probably not. More like definitely not. But I do think it's a nice set, and I think it'll perform well long term. It came out of the gates sort of hot and has hovered around the same price for the last probably 12 months, but I think long-term Brilliant Stars, it'll have the chase, the tiered chase, the trainer gallery plus the chase of that alt art Charizard for people will just, even that V-Star Rainbow Charizard. So, I can see that being a popular set and going up in price in years to come. So the big question, what does all that set us back? And we're not even going back to the start of Sword and Shield. We're only going back to Brilliant Stars, which is like halfway through Sword and Shield. If that, there's probably more on the back half than there is on that top half that I mentioned. So we're going to have to spend $2,072 US just to get the top 3 chase cards all the way back to Brilliant Stars in Sword and Shield era, let alone thinking about the booster box and the Elite Trainer box price if you haven't got those. So if we convert that to Australian dollars, because I said I would convert it, current exchange rate is sitting at about $1.60. So, you do the sums there. You've got about 3,300 Australian dollars to buy all the top 3 chase cards. And hey, that's if you can get it for those prices. Keep in mind, every market has different prices. Quite often in Australia, like that Giratina is expensive. It's not $260 times 1.6. I think it's more like, you're going to have to be paying, oh no, it probably is actually. You're probably paying for what, $450 for that Giratina? So $500 for the Giratina. It sort of rings true, but some of those in different markets will have different prices. Like in Europe, you guys watching from Europe, some of your sealed prices are are way dearer than the rest of the world. I don't know whether it's because not as much supply goes out there. But anyway, that's how much it's going to cost you. And I think, that's the plan long term for me. Hopefully some of you guys are on the same sort of journey where you're setting up displays and starting to think of ideas and chopping and changing it to make it look cool and suit, and maybe add some LEDs. But anyway, a bit of a different video there. Not so much some investing advice, of course, a bit of commentary throughout regarding investing, but more so collecting advice. I'm Michael, this is Pokey Oz, and I'll catch everyone next time.